Hi everybody at the EFEL Centre. My name's Bob and I'm talking to you today to give you some experience of an English person speaking English. Pat asked me if I would do this, a short video. So basically, just to tell you a bit about me. I was born in London, so I have a slight London accent. It's not strong. There are many regional accents across Britain, and some are very strong, and the London accent can be quite strong, but mine has sort of faded over the years. It was probably stronger when I was younger. I trained as an electrical engineer, and I went to a university, the name of which is Brunel University. Brunel was a very famous Victorian engineer in Britain, probably comparable with Gustave Eiffel, and certainly just as well known. He built railways, most famously, and bridges associated with those railways, and other bridges as well. But he also built very large ships, and he is, as I say, one of the renowned engineers of the Victorian era. So I went to Brunel and I qualified as an electrical power engineer working on power systems, and I worked throughout my career with the regional power company, and in fact at one point I did work for EDF, as we would say, perhaps EDF for you. Yeah, they bought the company I worked for, and so I was actually working for a French company for a short while. We moved up to Cambridgeshire from the London area in 2004, and I now live in a small town in Cambridgeshire. Cambridgeshire, you may have heard the word Cambridge, even if you haven't heard the word Cambridgeshire. Cambridgeshire is one of the counties in England. England is subdivided into counties, regions, and each region has its county town or city in some cases, and our one is obviously Cambridge, which is very well known to most people, basically because it's the home of one of the two principal universities in England, Cambridge University, the other one being Oxford. After qualifying, I worked for an electricity company, obviously a power company, which was in those days what we'd say nationalised, so it was part of the state, much as I think EDF is still. But I think it was 1989, the government of the day under Margaret Thatcher, a name you may well know, decided to privatise or make private many of the utility companies in Britain, electricity included. So when I started work, I was literally working in a fairly small area of London, one of 12 companies covering the London area. But when I retired in 2008, the companies had been, over time, taken over by other private companies and merged together. So, in fact, when I retired, the company I was working for covered most of the southeast of England. So it was a radical change from when I started. When I retired, I also made myself a promise to learn to speak French. So for you people there learning to speak English, I know exactly what it is like to try to learn a foreign language. And I think French is harder to learn than English, but obviously being an English speaker, that's easy for me to say. I started this in 2008, and after a while I felt I needed to have more experience of particularly mixing with French people. And I stayed just outside Paris in 2013 for a month. And during that period I was introduced to PAP, and I visited the EFEL Centre, and I sat in on the evening English class there, and I think tried to help the people there with their English. So I know all about the EFEL Centre, and I actually went back to Paris in 2014, and again I went over to join the classes at the EFEL Centre. I must say that those 2 months I spent in Paris in 2013 and 2014 were really very enjoyable. I loved Paris, and I think if I'd been a bit younger, I might have actually considered relocating. I'm continuing with my French, but not as actively as I did. I sort of can hold a conversation, but I never really got to the level that I thought I should be able to achieve. I assume that because I see so many people from other countries speaking English so well, that it would be easy for me to, or not easy, but it would be achievable for me to speak French in a similarly fluent fashion. And although, as I say, I can hold a conversation and I can communicate, I'm nowhere near what you might call native speaker. So I've settled for the fact that at my age I've probably reached a plateau in my French, and I'm quite happy to remain there. Well, that's me done for now. Pap asked me to do about 5-6 minutes, so I haven't been timing this, so I'm not sure quite how it's worked out. But I hope you found it useful I apologise, listening to an English speaker, and I hope it helps you progress with your studies in English. So thank you for listening, and goodbye for now.